this is Captain Chaudhary. This is the third video on Enhanced Survey Program. We discussed about the general things about Enhanced Survey Program. Now let us see how this renewal survey takes place. Renewal survey is a very important survey in case of bulk carriers and tankers which are longish in size, and the administration must make sure that before these ships cross the barriers of these 5 years, 10 years, 15 years hurdle, they comply with certain very stringent regulations, right? So renewal survey. Renewal survey means your certificate is getting renewed. I mean, a renewal survey is supposed to be targeted on the anniversary date. The things which are done in renewal survey are so important. They say that the process actually starts from the 4th annual survey. Enhanced survey program, the two most important things are close-in inspection, close-in survey, and thickness monitoring. Now, no thickness monitoring should be done before the 4th annual survey, because there is no crediting system. You can't do it, say, so many months in advance and credit it for the next survey, right? So they want that on the anniversary date or within a close range of anniversary date, the thickness monitoring is appropriate, satisfactory. So they say that the survey process as well as thickness monitoring should start after the 4th annual survey, and thereafter it should get completed in not more than 15 months. It should not be unduly delayed beyond a very long stretch of time. So it should get completed within 15 months. It is also said that renewal survey, because the importance which is given to the renewal survey and the elaborate survey that it is in case of enhanced survey program, they say that there has to be sufficient planning done. And who's involved in the planning? The ship owner and the classification society, they are involved in the planning before the documents are submitted to the administration. So planning involves, the procedure that would be followed, the equipment that would be used, and the questionnaire which the ship owner must fill up. So we were talking about thickness monitoring and the close-in survey or close-in inspection. Now these two things should be done simultaneously or concurrently. It should relate to each other. I mean, we are doing the thickness monitoring of a certain section. Simultaneously the close-in inspection or close-in survey can also go on. It seems the ship owner must prepare an elaborate survey plan, like what are they planning to do, what all items they would do, and in what sequence probably they would approach. This is in consultation with the classification society or the recognized organization. So now they will submit the entire plan of the survey that is made along with the questionnaire, because there are so many things which only ship owner knows, like for example accidents which have happened on the ship, or the repairs that have happened, or the kind of maintenance that has been going on. So these questions can be answered only by the surveyor, and this detailed questionnaire answered is given to the recognized organization. So questionnaire would include a lot of basic details, for example, name of the ship, port of registry, official number, the classification society, where was the ship built, etc., how old is the ship. So these things are necessary. In addition, probably you would say the ballast capacity and the cargo that you have been carried and all that. That is the basic particulars which need to be given, because you see, we are talking about a different kind of survey system whereby nothing should be hidden. There shouldn't be any concealment of information. Next is location, where you think that you're going to have intermediate survey. If the date is planned or port is planned, where do you intend doing intermediate survey? And if you're heading for renewal survey, which is the port? What is the location where you intend doing a renewal survey? And in addition to that, the ship owner would also want to say, like, what is the quoting condition? He wants to tell the administration or any third party, say for example recognized organization, that this is the condition of my paint on the hull, which I can see, like what is the percentage that has come out, what is the percentage that appears to be oxidized, etc. That hull details, hull coating details are given by the ship owner. This is the declaration by the ship owner. Now, under the maintenance, or there is a ship construction file that is maintained on board, or any other planned maintenance system, according to which the ship's officers are supposed to inspect the internal condition of hold, tank top, double bottom, etc. So, when was the last inspection done? Was there any damaged part which was repaired? Any damage repair history is there? So you get a graph. The administration gets a graph about the ship, the way the ship is maintained, and the way the ship's coating must be. So they get a clear picture by the description. So that's the importance of the questionnaire. Cargo which is carried by the ship. In case of bulk carrier, they found that, like, if a ship has been carrying coal, the ship is continuously exposed to chlorides and humidity. If the ship is carrying iron ore, there's a lot of humidity always. The time for which the hull is in contact with water is very, very important. And the chemicals which has affected the hull. So what kind of cargo, whether it is a bulk carrier or tanker, what kind of cargo the ship has been carrying is a good tool for the administration to measure, like, what might be the deterioration that might have happened on the ship. The ship has been conducting audits, internal, external audits, these mandatory inspections, and in addition to that, many ships, they also do, depending on the type of the vessel, they also do non-mandatory inspection. That is done for giving the rating. So what is the record? Are there any non-conformities? For how long the non-conformity has been there on the ship? Whether there is still a non-conformity. These things will also give an impression to the administration, like, for example, non-conformities are immediately taken care of. They are immediately repaired. There is no condition of class. So all this information helps the administration to find out that what is the correction graph, what is the graph of the ship as far as the maintenance and careful handling of the ship equipment is concerned. Ship also has to provide that, on their ship, depending on the type of ship, the size of the ship, what kind of access they are going to provide to the surveyor. Like in the holds, whether it's going to be movable platform, hydraulic platform, cherry picker, or it's going to be a ladder, permanent ladder, or a portable ladder, or you're going to plan the flooding of the hold and then inflatable raft or something like that for the surveyor. What is the lighting arrangement on the ship? Whether it is etiquette, the administration wants to make sure that these things are properly arranged in place so that the safety is taken care of. So thickness measurement, what is the order of going about it? What is the procedure? Procedure has been prescribed. Then which particular firm? The firm has to be appropriate. They should be capable of doing the thickness measurement, which is the demand of the ship. So which particular thickness measurement firm has been finalized? So the name has to be given to the administration. So annual survey. After you have conducted the annual survey, by considering all the items which have been prescribed for the annual survey, in addition to just plain inspection, additionally, it should be an overall impression of the survey. The surveyor should get a confidence that the hull, machinery, equipment, etc., they are such that they are appropriate as far as the strength and capability and efficiency is concerned when the ship goes out for the voyages again. All cargo holds, ballast tanks, pipe tunnels, cofferdams and void spaces, bounding cargo holds, decks and outer hull should be examined, and thereafter this examination should be supplemented by thickness measurement and the testing. So examination should be so elaborate and complete that the examiner, the surveyor, is able to make an accurate assessment about the distortion, deterioration, the corrosion, substantial corrosion, any fracture, damage, etc. so that he gets an idea as to what is the loss of strength or what is the residual strength of the plating that is being examined. Then it is said that all the pipings which exist inside these spaces also must be thoroughly examined. and they must be tested for working pressure so that their strength is ascertained. Then, if the hopper spaces are converted into void spaces, which means that even if it is intended that the ballast will not be carried, then these spaces must be still tested. Even if the ballast is not carried, they should have capability of carrying ballast. That is what is meant. It goes on to say that the crediting of thickness monitoring cannot be transferred, cannot be, if you have done crediting for renewal survey, then it cannot be credited for intermediate survey. You can't say that it's not required to be done now. They will have independent testing or thickness monitoring, which is associated or which is to be credited to a particular survey, that is renewal survey or intermediate survey.